everyone, Editing Ebony here. I was editing this vlog and I realized that I never did an intro, and that's bad. So, hi everyone, this is my intro. In case you didn't know by the title of this video, we are doing a winter break reading vlog. Okay, so I'm getting ready to pack to go home for break, and I have a lot of books to take home with me. And so first I'm taking home Educated by Tara Westover, and I'm taking this home because it was at Will's dorm and he doesn't really like it, so it's just gonna go home. Next I'm taking home Truth and Beauty by Ann Patchett because I read this for a class and I'm all done reading it now, so it doesn't need to be here because there's not enough space on my shelf for it. And I'm also taking home Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too. So originally I had all of my poetry books and this book, my graphic novels, in like a basket in the living room, but like situations have changed and like the way we set it up has changed, so now I don't have any space for it, so it's just gonna go home. And I'm also taking home Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur because again, this is a poetry book and I don't have space for it right now. And I feel like there's not going to be enough space on my at-home bookshelf for all the books I'm taking home. Again, another one is The Princess Saves Herself in This One by Amanda Lovelace because I don't have space for it, so it's going home. And I'm also taking home Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi because I read this for a class and that class is over now, and so it doesn't need to be here anymore. I love the end of the semester. And so I'm also taking home all of the books that I haven't read yet that are on my winter TBR so I can have them to read while I'm at home for break. So first is Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle. I haven't started this one yet, but I will eventually. I'm also like trying to finish all of the books that I started this year before the end of the year, and so I have like 3 left, I think. So that's why I have been kind of procrastinating doing my winter TBR books. The Vanishing Season by Jodi Lynn Anderson. Again, this is on my winter TBR and I haven't gotten to it yet, so I wanted to have it with me for when I decide to read it, because I'm probably not going to come back to my dorm until like January 12th or something. I'm also taking home Optimists Die First by Susan Nielsen. Again, this is on my winter TBR, and I apologize for how loud the heat is. But yeah, winter TBR book, so it's going with me so I can read it. I'm also taking home, there's so many books, Specials by Scott Westerfeld because Will and I are currently doing a reread of the Ugly series, and we're on Specials. We just haven't started it yet, but I should have it at home, so when I decide to read it with Will, then we'll have it. So that's why it's going. Yay! I'm taking home Wake by Lisa McMahon because I'm currently reading this one. It is a reread for me, but I do need to finish it before the end of the year because I don't want to start the year currently reading anything. With that being said, this is one of my favorite books ever. Well, the series. And so, since I'm going to be reading that, I'm also taking home the second book in that series, Fade, because I know that once I read Wake, I'm probably going to want to read Fade. I'm not taking home the third book, Gone, because I don't like that book as much, so I feel like I'll be able to wait. But I feel like once I read Wake, I'm going to be like, oh, I just want to read Fade now, so I want to have it with me for when that happens, because I know it will. And then I'm also taking home The Battle of the Labyrinth by Rick Riordan because I purchased this book recently and I hauled it in a video, but it doesn't need to be on this shelf because I'm not reading these or anything. It's just been here because I haven't had a chance to take it home yet. And I'm taking home Cutters by Scott Westerfeld because I've already read this book. Will and I read it together, and so we're done with it, so it can go home now because it doesn't need to be here anymore. Last two books. So I'm also taking home, there's so many, The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton because this is another one of the books that I'm currently reading and I need to finish before the end of the year. I'm only like 17 pages into it, so yeah, I have a long way to go to finish this book, but I'm determined to get it done because I want to start the new year without any baggage from this year. Thank goodness I don't have classes. Okay, the final book is The Past and Other Things That Should Stay Buried by Sean David Hutchinson. Again, this book I started in like May and then I put down and I haven't picked it up since then, so I want to finish it before 2020 comes around. I believe that is all the books that I'm taking home. There are so many, and my bookshelf at home is already like staggeringly full. Like you'll see it, or you probably will have seen it once I post this, but like it is crazy. So yeah, I don't know how these are all gonna fit on there, we'll see how that goes. So I will see you the next time I update.
You'll see me too. Bye.
Okay, so it is Monday and we are going to go head over to the library here on campus because I have to do some hours there for a scholarship. And I don't really have anything to do there, but I have to be there for 3 hours. So I'm gonna read while we're there, and I think I'm gonna read Wake by Elisa McMahon and hopefully get this one finished so I won't have as many books that I'm currently reading because I want to not have that many in 2020. So yeah, catch you there. So it turns out I didn't actually have to log 3 hours this week for my scholarship because it's finals week, but nobody told me that until today, so I could have gone home on Friday, but no, which is really annoying. So I spent a little bit of time at the library just to finish up a couple of things for my classes, and I've turned in all of my stuff for the rest of the semester, so I'm officially done with my first semester of college, which is crazy. But now I am looking for my car in the parking garage because it's been like 2 weeks since I've driven my car and I don't really know where it is. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Unfortunately, since I didn't spend a whole lot of time at the library, I didn't get a chance to read Wake, but I will read some more of it when I get home tonight. But while I'm driving, I'm going to be listening to Wilder Girls by Rory Power. So yeah, I'll get some reading done then. Okay, so I finally made it home, and the drive here was really, really long. And I managed to read about like 2.5 or 3 hours of Wilder Girls by Rory Powers, I think his name is. And I'm just sitting on the recliner. I have to like sit sideways so I get lighting from the lamp. But I'm in my pajamas, and I've got my cozy blanket, and I've got some hot tea, and I'm just gonna read a little bit of Wake by Elisa McMahon because I haven't read any yet today. But yeah, let's get cracking spines. So I just opened my book and I found a bookmark in there, but I don't recognize it. And it's weird because it has like this drawing on it. And it says Bus Barn. And I swear I have never seen this in my life. And like I've had this book for like a while. This is not the first time I've read this copy of this book. So I'm like, I don't know where this came from. It's just in my book and I'm concerned now. So I'm just reading Wake, and there's this part in here that's like, I can't believe I never noticed it before because I've read this book like 6 times or something. And there's this part that's like, okay, so there's this guy holding on to the main character, Janie. He's holding onto her hand, or her like wrist. And she's like, "Will you let me go?" And it says he drops her wrist like a baked potato. Like, what kind of description is that? Oh my goodness. I can't even. Like a baked potato. Oh my gosh. It's 11:22 p.m. on Monday, and I read about like 80 pages, 70 pages, something like that. Numbers are hard. And then my parents came home, so then I just ate dinner with them, played cribbage with my dad. And so now I am laying in my bed with my dog. Hi, PJ. I am going to be doing a 24-hour readathon tomorrow, hosted by Mikala on Twitter. There's about like 30 of us participating, and we have this really big group chat, and there's just like, at some point it just turned into everybody sending pictures of their dogs, and it was really cute. So yeah, I'm starting that in about half an hour, and so I will continue reading this. I apologize because the lighting in here is really bad, but we have this bag, and it has all of the books in it that I brought here from college. And so Some of the books in here are on my TBR. I just have to find the right ones. I'm going to hopefully finish Wake during the readathon, and then I'm gonna tentatively try to finish The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. I am currently about like 17 pages, I think, that I started in like July, but I need to get it finished before the end of the year, so that's why it's on my TBR. The other book that's on my TBR is, okay, so if I finish Wake, I know that I'm probably gonna want to read the sequel, which is Fade, and so I brought it, but I'm gonna try my hardest not to read it if I can help it. So, like, that's kind of on my TBR, but I don't want to read it, but I know I'm going to want to if I finish Wake. Just because I've read these books before and I just know that I like them. The other book that I need to try to finish is The Past and Other Things That Should Stay Buried. Depending on how far I get on these books, I will also pick up this one because I need to finish this before the end of the year as well. And then after I finish all the books that I started this year, I will be able to read whatever I want. Probably some of the books that are on my winter TBR, so I can get cracking on that. So, yeah, that's my plan. And I will be vlogging the readathon. Yeah, I will see you guys later. So I just finished filming a 24-hour readathon, and it's currently like 12:30 at night, or a.m. I guess, and I am extremely tired, but today I managed to read 3 books. I first read Wake by Lisa McMahon, and then I read The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. And finally, I read Fade by Lisa McMahon. And it has been a very successful readathon. And I will see you, I don't know, tomorrow, the next day, whenever I decide to read next. Alright, so it is December 20th, and it is, I don't know, because I'm not wearing a watch. It is, 8 o'clock, according to that clock on the wall. And this is the first time I've sat down to physically read a book since the readathon a couple days ago. Honestly, that readathon went so well. I just felt so accomplished after doing all of the reading that day. So now I'm going to sit down with my boyfriend, who is not here yet because he's walking the dog. But when he comes back, we're going to sit down and we're finally going to start reading Specials by Scott Westerfeld. So we've been doing a reread of the Uglies series recently. We read Uglies together in like summer, and then he actually read Pretties on his own for a readathon that we did a couple months ago, and then I read it on my own. And we've also been reading the graphic novel companions that go along with these books. So we had Shay's story that goes along with Uglies, and then Cutter's that goes along with Pretties. I don't believe there is a graphic novel for this one. I haven't really researched it, so I don't know. But it's been a hot minute since we've been in the Uglies universe, and we're on Christmas break now, so we actually have time to read. So when he comes back, we're going to read a bit of this, finally get back to this book, because it's been a couple years since I've read this, and Will's never read it, but yeah, I'm excited. I thought I would give you a quick update while I'm waiting for Will to get back. So the only reading I've done since the readathon and the last time that I updated you guys is I finished the audiobook for Wilder Girls by Rory Powers. I've just been listening to it while I was driving to work and stuff, and I don't know, I have mixed feelings on it. I know, like, Haley from Haley in Bookland, she DNF'd it because she thought it was gross. Honestly, I didn't think it was that bad. There were a couple of, like, kind of gross scenes, but I didn't think it was awful by any means. But I finished it, and actually my Will was in the car when I finished it, and he was kind of listening. He didn't really know what was happening, but he was kind of listening, and it just, like, ended. And he's like, wow, that was an abrupt ending. And honestly, I kind of agree. I did not see it coming, but maybe that was intentional. Like, the whole book is, like, there's crazy things happening, and people are going missing, and people are getting sick, and there's gross scenes. Like, it's all kind of, like, intense. So maybe the ending was meant to end abruptly, because it's also kind of intense. Maybe it, like, reflects the rest of the book. I don't know. That was just my thoughts. But, so I finished that this morning, actually, on my way to work, and I just jumped right into the next audiobook that I had from the library, and that book is After by Anna Todd. I'm only like 10 minutes into it, probably not even that much, but it's about a college student, which I didn't know. I really didn't know anything about it. I just knew it was coming out as a movie, so I was like, ooh, I want to read it. But it's about a girl, it's like her first day of college or something when the book starts. And so, like, that's really exciting because I just experienced that day not that long ago. So, and I, like, you know, I'm always excited to read about college protagonists. So I'm really excited for this one, and I think I'm going to like it. I can already tell with the writing style that I click with it really well. Okay, as promised, Will is here. Yay! And we are finally going to start reading Specials by Scott Westerfeld. Yay! Specials.
Specials.
Specials. Specials. How many times are they going to tell us the title?
These 2 pages are the same. Look, that's the same page. What a waste of
Part
free.
1, being special.
Is this book about special?
Yeah.
Damn, I would have wild guess.
You want to read or you want me to read?
I can read.
And I'll fast forward through this.
I can't read.
You can't read?
No.
Well, time to go home.
That's it, we're done.
Yay! What are we doing?
We're making cookies, and I'm eating Hershey's butterscotch chips because I love them.
Well, but we're not putting butterscotch in the cookies, right?
No.
Okay,
I
good.
just have a terrible addiction to them. We're making with these babies.
Yay! Wait.
What we're making?
Oh, wait, actually, are we making blondie bars or cookies?
Yeah, blonde brownies.
Okay, cool. Oh, there's a recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Brownies. Brownies. Okay, so I'm gonna put this baking soda, into this container because Will's family likes to keep everything in its separate container.
Except for everything except that.
What do you mean?
Like, the baking powder's still in the original thing.
Oh yeah, but like the sugar, the flour, everything else, different containers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, tell them what you're doing.
I am going to be, well, I'm just having her put that in there, but we need to sift the flour, the baking soda, baking powder, and the salt. And then after you mix the dry ingredients, then you put in the wet ingredients.
Do we have to go to the store?
Yeah, actually, I don't know. We'll see. We'll either have just enough or just barely not enough.
Also, I'm an idiot because I tried to open it this way when there's this poor thing right here. How do you open this? Ah! Help. I need medical assistance.
Ask your viewers for help.
I got it.
Call upon the power of your subscribers.
Well, by the time they see this, it's gonna be like...
No, that's how it works.
No,
that is how it works.
No, it's not.
Have you ever been on YouTube?
No. I have a YouTube channel, but I've never been on YouTube.
I've never been on YouTube in my life.
Wow, look at that. It won't come out. Actually, I got it.
So,
take that, baking soda.
thing.
In here is awful. So
what you get for driving in a car at night.
So what are we doing?
We are driving to the store. I don't want to hit the 2 cars behind us.
Okay, what are we getting? Flour?
Flour and a pizza.
Pizza! Ready for it.
What'd you find here, Ebony?
Take a book, leave a book. I'm so excited. Also, I can tell right away that I'm getting this one because...
Ooh, what is that?
I think this is the book I'm thinking of. Because my mom really likes this author. So there's only one good book in the thing, and I'm gonna give it to my mom. So it's not even for me.
Flour, the fleur.
Fleur?
The fleur
What
is the French.
What else are we getting?
I'm getting a soda pop. It's called like Doctor's Elixir or something. It's like
that sounds like alcohol.
It's really good.
You're not old enough to drink alcohol.
I'm gonna get some it's beer, but it's made from roots, so it's therefore non-alcoholic.
Also, they're playing Christmas music, and I hate it.
Of course, it's Christmas. Why would they not be playing Christmas music?
Milk. What's next? Pizza?
Yes.
Pizza. Okay, groceries haul. So we got flour, which is already empty because Will dumped it into the container that they keep their flour in. And we got milk, vitamin D, because we don't get enough sunlight because it's winter. And Will got pop, And I don't know what it is. It's root beer. Okay.
Yeah, it's just fancy root beer.
We also went to Subway because the store, literally, their pizza was like $7 and it was way too expensive. So we decided to go to Subway instead. So we have Subway sandwiches.
We paid $7 for a sandwich instead of a pizza.
Yeah, okay. But we didn't have to make it. So we're paying for labor too. And also, I got a book. I bet you weren't expecting me to do a book haul on this from the store. But, so yeah, I got Millie's Rose by Donna Sturgeon. Also, it has flour on it. I got
Flowers or flour?
It has, like, flour.
No, there is a flower on it.
Puns. But I got it because I'm pretty sure my mom really likes this author. I mean, I don't know. I really recognize the title. I don't recognize the author's name. Maybe I'm wrong, but if I am, then I got it for free, so it doesn't matter. So yay, book haul. Okay, so we're train hunting. Wait, are you okay to be on my channel?
I don't care.
Okay.
As long as you put my link in there.
Oh yeah, that would be so cool. Anyway, with my friend Riley, because he likes trains, so we're just sitting by the train track and waiting for the train to come. Will, you want to be in the shot?
I'm here too. Hi.
Where?
I'm back here. I'm laying down. Hi.
You want to tell them about trains?
What do I know about trains?
You're the one who thought about this.
Tell them your channel.
Watch my channel, Railroad Sign Productions.
Yeah, I'll link it in the description.
He makes
and on the card.
He makes really nice train
idea.
footage. If you ever want to watch trains go by.
Yeah. How is this? This isn't related to reading at all. I just wanted to vlog this. Also, you want to see a cool thing? Hold on. Watch this really cool thing. It's a party! Okay, I'm back. So we are currently sitting here and we're making this game called Secret Hitler.
Here's our little box for it.
And if you haven't heard of this game, you need to check it out like right now. Basically what you do is, so there's liberals and fascists and then one Hitler. And so you get envelopes that tell you what you are, and then if you're liberal, you just act liberal. But if you're fascist or if you're Hitler, then you want to act liberal because you don't want people to like know that you're Hitler or you're fascist. And
it's a social deduction game. So
yeah.
The fascists try and hide the fact that they are fascists, and the liberals try and find out who the fascists are.
And they want to kill Hitler. So, yeah, look it up if you've never played it before. It's really fun. But anyway, you can make it yourself, which is cool. Like, you can just go online and print out a PDF of all the little, like, cards and stuff. We're coloring them right now because it'll look a little bit better. But, yeah, you can make it yourself, which is awesome because the actual game is, like, $35.
Yeah, it's really nice quality, but I don't know if I want to pay $35 for a bunch of cards.
Yeah.
Because there's really, like, no special materials in it. It's literally all just, like, cards and boards. It's, like, it.
So yeah, go check it out. I'm vlogging right now because I wanted to update you on how far I am with the audiobook. I'm still reading After by Anna Todd, and I'm currently about halfway through it. It's a really long audiobook. It's like 16 hours. So, and it was originally a Wattpad book, and I can definitely tell.
There's a lot of smut.
Well, yeah, it's kind of smutty, but like I can definitely tell it was a Wattpad story. Just because of how it's written and because I've read Wattpad stories. But it's kind of like, I kind of can't put it down, mostly just because it's kind of like, you know when you watch like a soap opera and there's like always stuff happening and there's drama and all these things, like, it's kind of like that.
It doesn't feel like they're all reaching towards one goal, it just feels like it's going through the life of these two characters.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna listen to that and we're gonna color the rest of these cards. Okay, so it's been a couple days since I've updated you guys because I ended up going to see my sister for Christmas, so I was really busy with that. But on the drive there, I did finish After by Anna Todd, and I don't know. I liked it, but there were also things I didn't like. Like, it was very like soap opera, like, oh my goodness, everything's happening, you know, like very dramatic, that kind of thing. So it's like kind of addicting because there's just lots of stuff going on. But I didn't like how long it was. It was a 16-hour audiobook, which that's pretty long. I think it's like 500 some pages, and there's like 4 sequels or something like that. And honestly, I think it could have been like half that long. Like, there was a lot of stuff that happened in between that could have been taken out. I mean, I know it started as a Wattpad story, so, like, it definitely felt like a Wattpad story. Like, those stories just go on and on and on, just because the author just keeps updating, you know, and people just keep reading it. And that's fine for Wattpad, but this is an actual book with an audiobook and everything. Like, that's big stuff. So, like, I just didn't like how much back and forth happened. Like, there was a lot of stuff that happened in the plot that was just not consequential at all. Tessa and Hardin, they would, you know, they would argue, and then they would get together, and then they would argue, and then she'd be like, oh, I'm done with him, and then they would get back together, but she'd be like, oh, I love him, and then they would argue again, and then she'd be like, oh, he's bad for me, and it was just like back and forth, lots of things that probably didn't need to happen, so that bothered me. Also, my favorite character, I think his name was Landon, the friend that she has in her English or history class, whatever class it was, he, like, totally disappeared for the last, like, half of the book, and that made me sad because I liked him. I think I'm going to read the sequel only because this book ended on a cliffhanger and I want to know what happens because it's going to drive me crazy. But I know that one of the sequel audiobooks is like 24 hours long. Like, that is a lot. Like, who writes that much? Oh, anyway. So, but since then, I have finished after I finished it on Christmas. And since then, I have started reading Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, and I think I'm about halfway through it. I just started it yesterday, so that's pretty good. I mean, I was listening to it on the car ride, so, like, that's not that hard to do. But I've read this book before, and I love Fangirl. I mean, it's college, and it's very realistic, and, like, I totally relate to it because I'm in college now. And I love it. And if you haven't read it, you definitely should because it is the best. I wanted to update you guys because last night I finished Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell at like 2 in the morning because I just like wanted to finish it, so I just kept listening. Then this morning on my drive from home to Will's house, because it's like a half-hour drive, I started listening to Always and Forever Larging, which is the 3rd book in the To All the Boys I Loved Before series, and honestly, I really enjoy this series, so I'm really glad that I finally got, because I had to put the last audiobook on hold for a while, because everybody wanted it. So I'm really glad that I finally got it, and I'm reading it now, so yay. Okay, so it is December 29th, and I'm getting ready to do a readathon with my friend Lexi. We just got done at the library, and we got 3 books. Lexi got Pretty by Justin Sayer, I think is how you say it, and I don't know what it's about. Do you know what it's about?
No idea.
I think she described it because the cover is pretty.
It's something about her mother's alcoholism, and she, like, her aunt teaches her things, and, like, it's like a coming of age almost.
Sounds interesting. And then I got, okay, I've been debating whether I should read this book for a really, really long time. And I found a friend on Instagram who said that they would buddy read it with me. So we're going to read it. And I got Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo. I also got Siege and Storm, just so I would have it if I wanted to go right away. Like, to read the second book right away. But, like, everybody is so, like, split on whether you should read the Grisha trilogy first or if you should read Six of Crows first. And I did a poll on Instagram. I did a poll on Twitter. And I still, like, on Instagram, people were like, read Grisha first, and on Twitter, they were like, read Six of Crows first. And so I'm like, I'm split. I don't know what to do. And so I just finally decided, since my friend is going to buddy read it with me, that I'm going to read the Grisha trilogy first. Hopefully. I'm going to try really hard to push through it because I don't really like fantasy that much. But because I don't think I can read Six of Crows without reading Grisha first, because, like, you know, like, I like reading things in chronological order, and I just wouldn't be able to if I read Six of Crows first. So, yeah, I finally broke down, I think, and got it. I really wish that these were on audiobook, otherwise it would be so much easier, you know? But whatever. So, yeah. I might start this during the readathon. I might wait until after the readathon. I don't know yet. We'll see. So we just came in from Walmart and we got some snacks.
And it is snowing like crazy.
It's snowing pretty bad. So we got 3 cans of mandarin oranges because they're the best. I got strawberry applesauce because
Then
I
we
love
got oranges and orange gel, like the Dole things. Those are
in
good.
the Jello. Is that what
Yeah.
you're talking about? Yeah, they're like in Jello. sort of
Oh,
thing.
Jello, that's a good word, not gel.
Well, it says gel,
Yeah.
but it's Jello.
And
And I don't know if I'll eat those, but
they're so good.
maybe
They're
I'll try them.
addicting.
We're starting the readathon at Lexi's. I don't think I told you that. But like, so we're gonna go from Walmart now back to my house, and we're gonna get all of our books, and I'll grab my laptop in case I need it. And I still have to make the bingo cards, but we'll get those, and we'll head over to Lexi's, and we'll start at midnight. Oh, it's dark. Oh yeah! Okay, so we're organizing Lexi's bookshelf thing.
It's like half bookshelf, half like storage, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
I guess like things just to put places. So this is before. I have these things, these cubby things that I want to put on alternating ones, so these ones, and then have my books showcase.
So this is after we organized it, and it looks beautiful. And the books were organized by me, and then Lexi organized all of the bins to make them look nice, and it looks pretty litty, right, Lexi?
Yes, and way more organized.
Okay, so it's about 7:30ish, and we are preparing for the readathon still. Lexi's kind of filling out her bullet journal thing.
Yes, updating it.
Yeah. And then I'm making the bingo cards for the readathon I searched different readathon challenges, and then I numbered them 1 through 25 and then found a random number generator. So now I'm writing them down. We're really excited for this readathon.
Very excited. We haven't done one since August.
Yeah, August 8th.
Like together.
So it's only 11:30, and I just really want to start the readathon because we're just sitting around waiting for the readathon to start, for it to be midnight so we can start. I want to read, but again I don't want to read because if I read right now, I'm going to get really burnt out by the time we actually get going, because when you read for 24 hours, you kind of just get super tired of reading and you get to take a break for a day or two. So if I read more right now, then I'll be really, really tired by the end of it, and I don't want to do that. But I'm just running out of things to do in preparation for the readathon. Really the only thing left is to make some tea and fill up my water bottle, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So just waiting for the readathon to begin. Okay, so it is currently 12:30 on January 1st, 2020. Happy New Year. And so it's been a couple days since I've updated you guys, because on the 30th, I actually did a readathon with my friend Lexi, and then Will joined towards the end. So since I've last updated you guys, I've read a couple of books, mostly because of the readathon. So during the readathon, I finished reading The Past and Other Things That Should Stay Buried by Sean David Hutchinson. I have the book, I just don't want to get up and get it. With finishing that book, I reached my goal of finishing all of the books that I not that I started in 2019, that I started and put down in 2019, if that makes sense. So I was still reading books when 2019 ended. I still had a bunch of books that I was currently reading, but I had started all of them recently and I was actively reading them. So if that makes sense, it's kind of confusing. But so I finished that book, and then I finished Optimists Die First by Susan Nielsen, and this one I kind of read. I read it physically, but I had the audiobook playing just because in the readathon I was starting to get tired and stuff. So yeah, I finished those two books, and then I started during the readathon reading Playlist for the Dead by Michelle Falkoff. Lexi and I started reading this together, but we decided not to continue reading it together, so I'm gonna finish it and then I'll give it back to her because it's her book. But I'm currently on page 70, I think. I'm also still reading Specials by Scott Westerfeld with Will. He actually, during the readathon, he got ahead of me, so I'm gonna have to either catch up with this or get the audiobook and catch up with that somehow. So yeah, we're still reading that. And then I'm also listening to the audiobook for The Babysitter's Coven by Kate M. Williams. I'm like 3/4 of the way through it. I'm almost done with it. So that'll probably be my first read of the year. But also, one last thing I wanted to update you guys is today I'm actually going to start Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I haven't started it yet, but I'm going to start it because I have a friend. Her name is Elisabeth. I'll link her Bookstagram down below and her YouTube. She messaged me on Instagram and said, like, we just kind of got talking, and eventually we decided that we wanted to buddy read Shadow and Bone because she's read Six of Crows and she really liked it and she wants the backstory, and I haven't read anything from the Grisha trilogy, but knowing me and how I work, I have to read it in chronological order, even though people say this series isn't good and Six of Crows is like the way to go. So, but I'm gonna do it anyway, and hopefully I'm gonna be able to get through it because I'm not really big on fantasy, and I already know that this isn't a very popular fantasy book, so I'm a little nervous, but I think buddy reading will help a lot because then if I get confused or whatever, I can just like text her and be like, hey. But I wanted to show you guys my Goodreads thing because I'm gonna make my Goodreads reading goal challenge right now. And I wanted to show you all the books that I read in 2019 on my Goodreads. So let's do that. So I read a total of 39,299 pages across 112 books in 2019. My shortest book was I Love My Love with 120 pages, and my longest book was Illuminate with 602 pages. Most popular book was The Hunger Games. Least popular was Nick and June Were Here. Honestly, I hated that book, so I'm fine with that. My highest rated was The House of Hades. My first review, yada yada yada. So now I wanted to like just do like a little pan of all of the books that I've read this year. You can get like a quick summary of all of my books. It's 10:26 p.m. on January 5th, and it has been a few days since I've updated you yet again because I keep telling myself, oh, I should update, but then I'm like, oh, I have to do this one thing, and then I forget. So I'm updating now. I wanted to let you know that since the last update, I finished Babysitter's Coven by Kate Williams is her name, I think, and then I also finished the audiobook for Layer of Dreams by Leigh Bardugo, which is the sequel to The Diviners, and I'm like hoping to read all of the Diviners books soon because King of Crows, I think is what it's called, comes out in February, so I'm hoping to read it ASAP. Although I'm gonna have to wait for the audiobook probably, so maybe it doesn't matter that I'm trying to read all the sequels before it comes out. Anyway, after I finished that book, I picked up Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, which I've read before, but I wanted to reread it because I want to read Wayward Son, and I kind of forgot what happened, so I'm reading it again. Also, to update you on Shadow and Bone, I'm on page 118. We're doing 2 chapters a day, and it's kind of interesting because we have to, like, we talk about the chapters after we read them, but I have to have read them by 2 p.m. my time because that's 9 p.m. her time and she's going to bed. So, like, usually I have to read the chapters the day before, especially if I have to work because I won't have time if I'm working. But, so yeah, it's kind of interesting. But since we're reading 2 chapters a day, we'll be finished in, I think, a week. I think I counted it out. Now I'm going to read about 50 more pages of this because that's how long the 2 chapters are. And then I have to go to bed because I have to work in the morning. So, bye. Okay, so I just took a shower and did my makeup because I'm about ready to start filming as soon as my hair dries. But I wanted to tell you that I got a new book recently that my boyfriend got for me for Christmas. It was a little, like, a late Christmas present because he didn't order it right away, but that's fine. But that book is Daisy Joan and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I'm super excited to have this book. I read it on audiobook like a month after it came out or something, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm really, really excited that I now have a copy of it, but it is a large print, so, like, the print is large, so it's not like a standard copy, but honestly, he accidentally got that, but honestly, I'm kind of like it because it gives it, like, more character, I guess. Like, I don't have a large print book, so now I have one, and it just adds variety to my bookshelf, which I really like. So I'm really thankful for Will and for him giving me this book. and for him giving me this book. I'm really sorry if you can hear my dog. Alright. So it is 11:25 on January 9th, and I wanted to give you a little update because since I last updated, I have finished Last Sacrifice by Rochelle Mead, and I started listening to the audiobook for Evermore by Alison Noel. I have read Evermore before and the sequel, I do believe, but I put them down and I don't remember why. I honestly don't remember what happened in the series, and I saw that they were on Libby, so I was like, might as well. So I put the first book on hold and I got the first book back. So that's what I'm listening to, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I did finish another book. So I've officially read 3 books this year, and surprisingly they have all been fantasy, which is really, really weird because I don't usually read fantasy. Yes, so I've read The Babysitter's Coven, Layer of Dreams, and Last Sacrifice. So, and I think those are all considered low fantasy, but actually I am currently reading a high fantasy, Shadow and Bone, which I am on page 242 now, and I'm so excited. Things are getting intense and crazy in Shadow and Bone, and honestly, everybody says they don't like Shadow and Bone. I don't know how they don't. I'm loving it so far, and I don't like fantasy. But maybe that's why I don't like it, because I haven't read very many high fantasy books, so maybe because I'm so unexperienced that everything feels brand new to me, where it wouldn't normally to people who typically read high fantasy. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I just wanted to let you know what books I'm reading, and we still have 3 days left of break. So hopefully I think I will finish Shadow and Bone before I go back to school. So we're at Goodwill looking at the books.
I already found a book. Peace Like a River by Leaf Anger. Is that Leaf? I don't know.
That's what it looks like. And literally the best feeling ever is when you find a book that you've heard of and it's $2.
But I
It's the
really
best.
like this book. I've read it before. I read it freshman year, I believe, in class. I actually really liked it. Everyone else hated it in my class, but I liked it.
And so far, I haven't looked at all the shelves yet, but I did find a Sarah Dessen book, so if I don't find anything else that I really want, I'll probably just buy this one, because Sarah Dessen's an insta-buy for me. So let's keep looking. Okay, so I only found the Sarah Dessen book at Goodwill, so we came to Salvation Army to try to find more books. Have you found anything yet, Lexi?
I have. Wuthering Heights.
By Emily Bronte.
I found The Help.
By Catherine Stockett.
Oh, sorry. Wuthering Heights. The Help. And then, I don't know how to say
Miss
this.
Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't found anything yet, though. Okay, so it is 9:30 on January 11th, and this may be the last time I vlog. I might vlog once more because tomorrow is the last day of break. We did go to Goodwill, and then we went to Salvation Army to look for some cheap books. Unfortunately, I only found one, and that's the book Lock and Key by Sarah Dessen. I found it at Goodwill. But Will actually found a book too called The Raven by Dean Whitlock. And you want to explain what it's about?
Yeah, so... Hi, I'm here, by the way. Hello. So I saw this book, and I'm like, Raven, that's an edgy name. I should check it out, because it's an edgy book for an edgy person like me. Anyway, basically there's this girl in here named Raven, and she was supposed to meet up with her mom, Roxane, at some rendezvous point, but her mom never showed up. And so she's like, where did my mom go? Why did she abandon me? And so 15 years later, she goes back to some some old retreat or resort or someplace to try and find where her mom went. And so apparently, spoilers, she finds her. It kind of says in the synopsis, but there's apparently some super secret mystery thing keeping her there, like from the there's some like dark secret. But I don't know. I thought it was really cool because like Raven is a mage that can like transform into animals, and apparently that magic is like highly illegal in this universe. So I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting, that magic of transforming into animals.
By the way, sorry about the lighting change. I moved my lamp so it's better in here. But yeah, so he got that and I got one book. And the book that I got is going to stay here. I'm not going to take it with me because there's not enough space on my shelf at the dorm. But now we'll get into the books that I am taking with me to the dorm. Okay, so the first book that I'm taking with me is Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. This book my sister got me for Christmas, and it's just a sort of like self-help, like learning about your life as a female and just things like that. And so she said she learned a lot when she read it, so she got me a copy of it so I could read it as well. So that's going with me because hopefully I'll get to that soon. Next, I'm taking Specials by Scott Westerfeld because Will and I are still reading this. I am still behind and I'm waiting for the audiobook to catch up. But I've said this before, maybe I'll pick it up and read it, but honestly, I don't see that happening. I'll probably just end up waiting till the audiobook, especially with classes starting. So we're taking this with, and then as soon as I get caught up, Will and I will continue with our read of this book. Also, I am taking back Wake and Fade by Lisa McMahon because I brought these home because I was in the middle of this one when I came home, and then I knew I'd want to read this one right away. But I'm taking them back because I love these books so much, and actually the third book in the trilogy is at my dorm still. And honestly, I could see myself rereading them in the next semester because like they're just that book, like you just feel like you want to read it and then you read it. Like I swear I've read this book like 8 times. So yeah, I just like having them on hand. And then next I am taking back Reading Like a Writer by Francine Prose, and honestly that is the most perfect name, Prose, for reading like a writer.
That's great.
Prose. That's a great name. Anyway, this is one of my books for, I think it's for my critical literature class, or actually it might be for my writing class. So yeah, this is one of my textbooks, so obviously I need it. Another one of my textbooks is New American Stories by a variety of authors that are listed on the spine. I think this is just a bunch of like short stories. It's also, I think it's for my literature class. So this is important. And another textbook I'm taking is Dracula by Bram Stoker. This is for my literature class. I know that for a fact. And I've never read this book. And honestly, I'm a little nervous because it's really long and the text is like really tiny. But yeah, I'm still not looking forward to it because typically I don't like classics. And like, look how tiny that font is. It's really small. The last book that I'm taking with me, and this is the one I'm most excited about, is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love this book so much, and my boyfriend got it for me, and I love it. And it's great. But it is going on my contemporary shelf, front and center, because also look at the spine on this. Isn't it such a pretty color? I love that color. Okay, here we are, we're back. This is the continued version of all the books that I'm taking with me because I forgot about all the books that are my winter TBR that I haven't read yet. So first is Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle. I swear I've said like 4 times this was going to be the first book on my winter TBR that I was going to read, and I haven't done it yet. So I'm hoping to get to it soon. I say, hopefully. Next book that I'm taking is Between Shades of Grey by Rita Sepetys. I'm really, really excited for this one, and I don't know why I keep putting it off. So, I don't know. Hopefully, I will read it soon. Who knows? I don't. Things are crazy. And the next book that I have to take back with me is The Vanishing Season by Jodi Lynn Anderson. And again, this is on my winter TBR, so obviously I haven't read it yet. So, yeah, it has to go back. Also, you thought I was done telling you books that I have to take back, but I forgot some more. So, I also have to take Playlist for the Dead by Michelle Falkoff because I'm still currently reading it. And then, as soon as I finish this, I will bring it back home because it's Lexi's. So, I will get back to her when I'm done with it. Also going with me is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I'm almost done with this. Probably Monday we will be finished. Also, on that same note, is Siege and Storm will also be going with me. This is the sequel, and so I can start it right away, when we finish Shadow and Bone. So also these are both library books. These are not mine. So they will go back to the library when I finish them. So yeah, that was a mess, and I hope you enjoyed my chaotic mess. We are unboxing my first and last book of the month. So I saw Book of the Month had like a thing where, like a deal where the first book that you get was $5 and then you had a choice of like 3 different things. And I saw that and I'm like, hey, I'm doing that. But then I wasn't gonna like pay for like more books, so I just got the one book and then unsubscribed. Which is really bad. Maybe in the future I will resubscribe to Book of the Month or a different book subscription box. Just right now I don't have enough money to. But I'm really excited because I know what's in here, but you guys don't. But let's unbox it. You gotta be smarter than the packaging. Whoa! You can't see it yet. Look, it says, "You've got great taste." I know. Here's the book. You still can't see the cover. You can probably kind of tell what it is though. Okay, well, before we get to the book, they have this thing on here that says the perfect gift for everyone on your list. Oh, by the way, I've ordered this like last month and it literally came in like the day I left for Christmas break. So it's been sitting at the mail place for a while. Then we have this little thing that says Book of the Month. And it just has some different books that they sell. Oh, one more thing. Oh, they sent me a bookmark. Oh, that's cool. Bookmark. The book I got is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Yay! I'm so excited. This is a really large book. This is the first Leigh Bardugo book that I've ever owned. And this is probably the newest release that I've ever owned, you know?
Yeah, what is this book then?
It's like, from what I've heard, it's about, like, it takes place at Yale, and it's about these characters, and there's like a, I don't even know if there's a mystery. I'm not even sure. I just know that people say it's kind of like, it's really dark. And like, I don't know if it's gory necessarily, but it's really like dark and edgy. It is an adult book. Wow, it's so beautiful. What's the inside look like? Oh, it has a whole Book of the Month thing. That's cool. So that is all for this reading vlog. I hope you all enjoyed. And if you did, please make sure you like and subscribe down below and hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever I post. I post new videos every Friday at 5 p.m. Central Time, so you can expect to see more from me soon. Also, if you want to follow me on social media, all my links are in the description box down below. Or you can go to Twitter or Instagram and search butterflies on my bookshelf with periods in between the words, as that is my username. And if you would like to see more videos like this, please make sure you comment down below and tell me, and I will try to do more. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!